Hello and welcome back to the Exclude Magazine YouTube channel. As ever, I'm Jack and you're joining us today in the first of a brand new weekly series here on YouTube where we're going to be rounding up all of the week's stories and developments and putting them all in one handy video for you to speed play your way through and catch up essentially on anything you may have missed. So there's going to be headlines, there's going to be some of the smaller stories, some of the developing stories as well. So we will try and be as thorough as we can. Essentially everything we cover though will be on excludemagazine.com and also on our socials at Exclude Magazine. So if you do want to have, a bit of a deeper look, read through it, check out some of the images included with today's headlines, then you can do so over on those platforms. So we are going to jump straight in with our first headline. Well, actually, let's give you a roundup actually. So the big three stories of the week that we found are the Taskmaster and Black Widow SH figure arts revealed at the beginning of the week. Hot Toys have previewed their upcoming Death Trooper Mandalorian version. Mezco have opened pre-orders on their 112 collective Mr. Freeze. And the bad news that Emerald City Comic Con 2020 has been postponed until later this summer. So those are big stories, but also we will be dumping into a few other development stories throughout the week. So let's just pick up our first story, which is of course the Taskmaster and Black Widow SH figure arts reveal. Of course, coming from the upcoming Black Widow solo film due out, I believe, in May. If it doesn't change, I know some films, including the Bond film, have been pushed back, of course, in relation to the coronavirus situation. So time will tell whether other big films such as this will also feel those effects. So they are currently slated for a June 2020 release. Now, again, to link it back to the coronavirus situation, which does seem to be a trend this week, that is a date which is hopefully going to stay intact. Any delays, any cancellations coming from Bandai over in Asia as well obviously may result in that date being pushed back. We will keep you updated though if that is the case. But let's run through. So the Taskmaster, he comes with the shield, the sword, a magnum, a bow, the clawed hand, which look to be the same vibranium claws used on the Black Panther figure art as well, which is a nice little touch. A raised hood and a lowered hood accessory as well. With Widow coming with, of course, her Widow-like gauntlets, which have two blue effect pieces, two pistols, two batons, which can, just like on the Infinity War release, they can be put onto her back for storage, and also two fully extended batons, a braided hair sculpt, which is very similar to the Endgame Thor, Bro Thor beard, usable thigh holsters for both of those pistols, and as I say, two blue effect pieces and a newly tooled suit. So as I say, these have just been previewed, so June 2020 slated release date so far. As of the time of recording, we haven't seen any pre-orders for this go live just yet. If that does change, and when it changes naturally, we'll update you in all the usual places. On Exclude Magazine should be your first port of call for that news. So both of these look pretty fantastic. Good sculpting, good tooling on both of these. I mean, it's a Bandai figure, so you're going to have all the articulation, all the quality there that you want. The price point as well are probably going to be the same sort of area as many other releases. Obviously time will tell. So that's our first big story that we kicked off the week with on Monday. Another Marvel development which happened earlier in the week was the announcement of a Grey Beast Marvel Legends. So this is a vintage collection carded release, so it's not going to release in the usual packaging, but of course on that carded blister pack, which is not going to be very collector friendly for those who, like myself, like to keep their figures in box, contrary to the ones that you can probably see around which aren't, which is, there we are. So he comes with an alternate portrait, an alternate hand, reading glasses and a book, and is actually going to retail for the usual price of $19.99. So there's no premium markup for this guy. So all in all, looking pretty good. Nothing much more to say about it. It's pretty standard Marvel Legends release, but you can pre-order this guy right now. So if you are into your alternate comic characters, then this is one for you to pick up. We do actually have a full gallery and a full breakdown of this release, as I say, on XE Magazine, so well worth your time checking out if you are interested. Next up, Hot Toys debuted a full look at the Mandalorian version of the Death Trooper. Now, ever since we saw them, of course, appear in the finale of The Mandalorian Season 1, we've been expecting something from Hot Toys, whether it be a straight-up reissue of the Rogue One version, or what they've done here, which is a modified version of that. So the retail price on Sideshow is currently $235, and they have a release window of January 2021 to April of next year. Now, I think this is a conservative release date, again, linking back to the coronavirus situation. If there are any further delays of Hot Toys shipping, I know we've seen some like Tarkin and Captain Marvel and the Jawa as well. So hopefully by then the production will have resumed, everything's back to normal, and we will see those release dates upheld. So just to be clear, this is not a reissue of the Rogue One version, but rather a modified version. So this figure does not come with the DLT heavy blaster rifle, the shoulder pauldron, the ammo pouch, the grenade belt, and the grenades, but it does include a blaster rifle, pistol, the LED light up functionality on the helm, of course, those green LEDs down towards the base of the helm, the usual interchangeable hands, and of course the Hot Toys figure stand. So we do have the full release gallery of this guy on our site if you do want to take a closer look. We've actually reviewed the Rogue One version, and that was a very, very promising figure. It was well received by Trevor, our resident 1/6 enthusiast. So we'll also have a link for that down in the description if you do want to know what you're getting yourself into, if you are planning on pre-ordering this guy. So from one pre-order to the next now, we're going to jump over to Mezco and their Mr. Freeze 112 collective figure. Of course, we saw him out on the show floor at New York Toy Fair just a few weekends ago now. Time is really flying in 2020. So this guy, he's listed for $120. Now they are asking for a $30 non-refundable deposit, which is kind of standard fare really. They're packing in 30 points of articulation into this guy. He is going to include LED functionality on his Cairo pack, and on the blasters. You're going to get 2 portraits, 2 alternate portraits, of course that dome helmet, which is synonymous with the character, 4 pairs of hands, as I say, the cryo handgun and the cannon, and also some effect pieces. Now most interestingly, with the DLX version, which is up for pre-order, they are going to be including what they're calling is a collector-friendly cryo chambered tin. So obviously not the usual fare of Mezco packaging, but rather a tin akimbo to what they've done with I think it was one of the Black Ops Gomez, I think I'm right in saying that also released in a collected tin as opposed to the usual box and plastic insert release. Now we haven't seen an image of that as of yet. Hopefully Mezco will preview that, they'll tease it. I'm sure there'll be some kind of unboxing video. They normally do those in the run up to release. If and when that does happen, of course we will update you. And the final of our bigger headline stories this week. So we've been reporting all week about how, again, the coronavirus situation has been affecting the toy industry with cancellations, production delays, the uncertainty surrounding many release dates and schedules. We know that a couple of Medicon releases have been pushed back. We know the Hot Toys releases have been pushed back. So we'd also been reporting on how Emerald City Comic Con and how some of the platforms, including DC Comics, Dark Horse Publishers, Bluefin and Gentle Giant, had all pulled out of the event over health and safety fears. So just a few days after those announcements were made, the organisers of Emerald City Comic Con, who are ReedPop, they've actually issued a statement announcing that the whole event is going to be postponed till later this year in the summer. No set date as of yet, but they are obviously thinking of it and they will let us know, and in turn we will let you know. So that hopefully means that all of those companies I've just mentioned, including Bluefin and Gentle Giant, will be able to attend as usual, which is best, the best thing for collectors really. Obviously, the health and safety of everybody involved, it goes first. I mean, these are just toys overall. The news which also is kind of related to this and spins out of it is Funko and how do they react to it. Of course, if you're a pop collector, you'll know that every year Funko have a whole variety of convention exclusives, right through from New York to San Diego Comic Cons, but also Emerald City Comic Con. So they have announced they're going to be holding their first ever fully virtual convention on March 8th, which I believe is this Monday. So all of those figures which were slated to be revealed and available, I should say, at the event as exclusives are now going to be hosted through that virtual convention. So we'll keep you updated on that and cover that as and when it happens. So I mean, yeah, it's a kind of mixed bag there. Good news that it's been postponed, in the fact that hopefully it means that those other companies that weren't going to attend can now attend. So those are our main stories, really, just to kind of catch you up with. So we're just going to jump into some of the smaller stories over the last 7 days. So a NECA tweet, naturally over on Twitter, where else would you find a tweet, would suggest that their cartoon Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle line is going to swell to over 40 different characters by the end of the year. Of course, we saw many of these previewed at New York Toy Fair, and we have full show floor coverage and video coverage of the NECA booth, so that's well worth checking out if you are excited for the future of the line. Do let us know who you would love to see NECA add to that line though. Who do you think could be included in that 40 character lineup? Big Chief, they have been continuing to preview their upcoming 1/6 scale Tommy Shelby, of course from the UK programme Peaky Blinders. They're collaborating with sculptor Inigo Gill, who we actually interviewed a few years ago now, back in our Portraits book. So again, something which I'll link down in the description below for you to check out if you are interested in your head sculpts and you are interested in that side of the process. Fantastic talent and really, really great interview that he gave us. So we have both the images. I'll put one on the screen right now. The full images we will put obviously on our site, and as the pre-orders for this guy opens and more images and confirmation of pricing and all of those things come available from Big Chief, I will update you. And finally, it brings us right through now to the final story, which we covered just earlier on today, just before putting this video together, and that is the Iron Studios 1/10 art scale Dark Knight statue. So Iron Studios, they now venture into the Nolanverse with their as I say, 1/10 scale Batman, which depicts the character atop a Gotham gargoyle, and they slate that this guy is going to come in the last quarter of 2020, and is currently up for pre-order for $169.99 USD. That is pretty pricey, but the detail that they managed to pack into these statues, as we're seeing with a lot of their recent releases, if I get my words out properly, and especially the Endgame releases. So some of the pictures we've seen from those from collectors, they look pretty astounding. You know, 1/10 scale, they're really able to pack in that detail. So there's no reason why this Batman shouldn't be the same when it releases later this year. So that's going to about do it for the first ever Xlu Weekly News Roundup. We haven't really thought of a name as of yet. There we are. We're just kind of winging it this week. So if you did enjoy this debut Weekly News Wrap Up, then be sure to leave a like just to let us know. Let us know what you liked, what you didn't like. Leave your thoughts down in the comments about everything that you've seen in today's video. What have you responded to? You know, what have you been really excited about seeing? What perhaps isn't really doing anything for you? Like I say, the NECA figures, what would you like to see them add to that cartoon TMNT line in 2020 and beyond? And of course, it's YouTube videos, so I do have to end by saying that please do subscribe to the XE Magazine YouTube platform for more videos like this every week right here on the XE Magazine platform. I've been Jack, as ever, and a big thank you for joining me today, and I'll see you later. Cheers, guys.